So, imagine you wake up tomorrow morning, right? And you just discover this glowing digital counter hovering right above your head.
Oh, wow. Okay. Like a video game UI or something.
Yeah, exactly, like a heads-up display. And it's counting down the exact predetermined number of calories you are allowed to consume for your entire existence.
That sounds incredibly stressful.
Right. Because if you hit up, like, way too many buffets and eat your final allotted grain of rice at age 30, your life just simply ends. Period.
Wow.
You don't die of disease, you die because your mathematical account is just closed.
I mean, that would completely paralyze how you interact with the world, wouldn't it?
Oh, totally.
You wouldn't just be looking at a plate of food anymore. You'd be looking at a physical manifestation of your remaining time on Earth.
Yeah.
But more fundamentally, I think it would force this terrifying, profound shift in how you understand cause and effect.
And, well, that profound shift is exactly what we're unpacking today.
Yes, it is.
Welcome to this deep dive into the source material. Today we are exploring a highly specific, deeply fascinating philosophical essay written by Shurfeng in September 2022.
And it's titled, There Will Be Necessary Setbacks and Tribulations on the Journey of Life.
Right. So for everyone listening, our mission here is to impartially map out this framework. It's a text that basically reframes human suffering, frustration, and failure, not as random bad luck or poor choices, but as this incredibly precise, unforgiving cosmic accounting system.
Yeah, and just to establish some ground rules before we really jump in, we are not here to endorse this specific philosophy.
No, definitely not.
And we aren't suggesting you adopt it as objective reality either. We're simply mapping its internal architecture, trying to understand it.
Exactly. Just looking at the blueprint.
Right. The goal is to give you a brand new lens for viewing life's hardships, you know? To see what happens when you strip away that comforting idea of chaos and replace it with strict mathematical inevitability.
Because to really understand this cosmic math, we have to start with the foundational question of why we are even here on Earth to begin with.
Right. Why Earth?
Yeah. According to this text, the universe categorizes life in this strict, unyielding hierarchy based on perfection.
It's the architecture of the whole system relies on spatial levels.
Okay, break that down for us.
So the more perfect a life structure is, the higher the level of space it's permitted to occupy. This is what the essay colloquially refers to as heaven.
Got it.
Conversely, flawed lives are assigned to lower spaces, and Earth is explicitly designated as a lower-level space.
Meaning, well, if you are listening to this right now, you are officially in the flawed category.
Pretty much, yeah.
The text argues that we are reincarnated onto this specific planet because our lives carry a deficit. We are essentially the universe's cosmic debtors.
The defining characteristic of a flawed life in this framework is indeed this exact debt.
Like financial debt.
Well, sort of. It might be a deficit carried over from a past heavenly existence, or maybe it's new debt generated right here in the human realm. But either way, it has to be reconciled.
It has to be paid back.
Right. And this reconciliation, it's important to note, it isn't driven by some punishing deity passing moral judgment.
Right. It's not a guy in the clouds with a gavel.
Exactly. It's driven by a fundamental law of physics within this philosophy. The rule is that the combination of positive and negative energies of the universe must perpetually equal zero.
Okay, I want to pause on that for a second because energy is, a highly subjective word in modern spirituality.
Oh, absolutely. It gets thrown around a lot.
Right. So how exactly is this text defining positive and negative energy? Are we talking about like good vibes versus bad vibes?
Not at all. It's way more mechanical than that. Think of it more like atmospheric pressure or maybe fluid dynamics.
Oh, I'm tracking.
If a massive high-pressure weather system builds up in one area, the atmosphere doesn't, judge the air, right?
Yeah, it just reacts.
Exactly. It naturally generates a violent storm to equalize the pressure. So in this framework, positive energy refers to taking, accumulating, or experiencing unauthorized material gain.
Like enjoying more comfort or wealth than you're supposed to?
Yes, taking more power than your designated share. That's positive energy. Negative energy is the loss, the suffering, the paying out.
The storm.
Right. The universe simply demands a net zero balance.
So Earth is basically a cosmic debt consolidation center.
That is a great way to put it.
And a human lifetime is just the storm trying to equalize the pressure. So our overarching purpose for drawing breath is simply to balance our specific equation.
Pay it off, and you ascend to a higher space.
But if you fail to pay it, you stay trapped in the cycle of Earth.
Or worse, actually.
Probably worse than being trapped on Earth.
Yeah, if you continue to aggressively accumulate positive energy without balancing it, basically, if you accrue more debt, your life structure degrades even further. You drop to a life space lower than human. The system doesn't forgive, and it definitely doesn't listen to excuses. It only calculates.
But, okay, let me push back on this a bit. If our primary function, our one true job, is just to get our ledger back to zero, why is it so notoriously difficult?
That's the big question.
Right, like, if the mechanism is that simple, why do humans constantly make choices that accrue more debt?
Well, the essay identifies a core design flaw in the human experience, and that flaw is selfishness.
Selfishness.
Yeah. We are born with selfishness permanently baked into our hardware. It is the fundamental operating system of a human being.
It's the gravity that holds us down to this specific plane.
That is an excellent way to conceptualize it. The text argues that without the function of selfishness, we wouldn't even be tethered to this lower space.
We'd just be up in heaven.
Right, we would naturally exist in heaven. But because we are inherently selfish, we aggressively resist giving things up.
We hoard resources.
We run from discomfort, we prioritize our own survival, we actively fight against the very equalization process that the universe demands.
So we basically refuse to let the pressure equalize on its own.
Exactly. Which means the universe has to force the issue.
And the essay calls this enforcing mechanism the Tao, right? Which we can understand here as the objective natural order.
Yes.
Since we won't voluntarily suffer to balance our equation, the Tao steps in and basically arranges setbacks and tribulations for us.
And the text makes a rather stark observation about this enforcement. It notes that as people navigate the complications of human life, 80 or 90% of what they encounter is unsatisfactory.
80 to 90%. That is bleak.
It is. It says by the time someone reaches their 60s, 70s, or 80s, they look back and naturally sigh with profound regret over how much went wrong.
Okay, I have to challenge that conclusion, though.
Go for it.
Couldn't someone argue that we have regret simply because human psychology is, evolutionarily wired to fixate on the negative?
Like a negativity bias?
Exactly. We remember threats so we can survive.
Yeah.
Why does this philosophy jump straight to cosmic debt enforcement to explain just basic human psychology?
It's a fair question. The philosophy preempts that argument by insisting the tribulation is objective, not subjective.
Objective how?
It argues that even if you possessed a magic wand, right?
Yeah.
And you could start your life over with perfect foresight, the Tao would still arrange unavoidable hardships.
Oh, I see.
It's not that your brain is selectively focusing on the bad. It's that the bad is a mandatory mathematical requirement of your existence.
You literally cannot outsmart the debt collector.
No, you cannot.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The ultimate proof of this brutal objectivity is the essay's most shocking and frankly disturbing example.
Yes. The scenario of reincarnating as a pig.
Let's get into this because this blew my mind. The text poses a blunt, almost rhetorical question, right?
It says, who wants to be a pig?
And the obvious answer is nobody.
Nobody at all.
But the text makes it incredibly clear that what you desire is completely irrelevant to the Tao.
It doesn't care. If a person accrues a massive deficit, like a staggering debt that cannot possibly be repaid through the standard everyday tribulations of a normal human life, the Tao intervenes drastically.
It arranges for that life structure to be reincarnated as a pig.
Yes. And the pig must then dedicate its blood, its meat, its bones, its fur, ultimately going, as the text specifically says, under a knife.
Ah, that's brutal.
The entirety of its physical existence is sacrificed just to clear the ledger.
Hold on. You're saying the universe actively engineers the birth, the miserable existence, and the violent slaughter of a conscious animal just to balance a cosmic spreadsheet.
That is exactly what it says.
That strips all conventional human morality completely out of the equation. It's a terrifyingly efficient supply chain of suffering.
It replaces human morality with systemic equilibrium. It's a horrific image to our modern sensibilities, definitely.
Yeah, to put it mildly.
But within the strict logic of this framework, it is perfectly, flawlessly fair. From a mathematical standpoint, yes. The extreme physical sacrifice of the animal provides the massive negative value required to cancel out the human's massive past debt.
So they balance each other out.
Right. Only when the ledger finally hits zero can that life energy return to the world as a human again.
Wow. That forces you to define fairness in a way that feels almost alien.
It really does.
Because we tend to think of fairness as justice or equality, right?
Right.
Like everyone gets a fair shake or the bad guy gets punished. But The Tao thinks of fairness purely as a balanced chemical equation.
Yes, it doesn't care about the psychological terror of the pig. It only cares that the math works out.
But how does the universe actually calculate the exact value of a pig's life versus a human's massive debt?
That's the natural next question.
Right, because for a system this strict to function without collapsing into complete chaos, there has to be a universal metric underlying everything.
And the essay provides that metric. It argues that everything in the universe, without exception, operates as a mathematical constant.
A constant, like in physics.
Exactly. The text explicitly uses pi as the foundational example,
Okay, pi.
right? From the eye of a needle to the expanse of the entire Milky Way galaxy, the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter is always a fixed, unchanging number.
It's always pi.
Always. And it applies that exact same rigidity to life itself. Whether you are a single bacterium, an earthworm, or a complex human being, the parameters of your existence are governed by a constant.
So it's not just biological life then?
No, even inanimate elements follow this rule.
Like what?
Well, it says the total amount of water on Earth is a constant quantity. It just violently shifts between forms.
Oh, manifesting as torrential floods in one era and then thousand-year droughts in another?
Exactly. The total amount never changes.
Which brings us right back to that digital calorie counter hovering over your head that we talked about at the very beginning of the deep dive.
Right, the food allotment.
The text takes this concept of the constant and applies it directly to human consumption. The total amount of food you will eat in your entire life is a predetermined fixed quota.
It's a set number. And if you aggressively consume your total allotted amount by age 30, you will inevitably starve and die. You have exhausted your constant.
It's like you're handed a card with a fixed number of calories at birth. Once you swipe for that last calorie, your account is closed.
That's the perfect analogy. But, fascinatingly, the reverse mechanism is also true.
What do you mean?
The text suggests that if you are biologically destined to die at 70, but you live frugally, never wasting food, eating modestly, taking only what you need, your death can actually be delayed.
Wait, really?
Yes. Because your food constant hasn't been depleted yet, the universe actually extends your timeline.
That completely reframes the concept of gluttony.
Oh, entirely.
It's no longer just a moral failing or like a medical risk factor for heart disease.
Yeah.
You are literally eating into your own lifespan.
Yes.
Every time you overconsume, you are fast-forwarding your own cosmic clock.
Now, take a step back and apply that rigid mechanism of the constant to macro human behavior, specifically to systemic corruption.
Okay, let's do it.
The essay uses the example of a corrupt governor who embezzles 200 million yuan.
Let's break down the mechanics of that, because earlier we talked about atmospheric pressure and positive and negative energy. Why is embezzling considered a disruption that throws the system off?
Well, in this context, positive energy refers to an accumulation of material advantage, power, and wealth in the physical world.
Right.
So the governor has violently pulled 200 million yuan worth of material benefit into his own isolated sphere.
That's a lot of positive energy.
It's a massive, unauthorized influx of positive value that radically exceeds his designated constant. He has created a void elsewhere in the system.
So it's not balanced.
Exactly. Think of it like pulling a heavy-duty rubber band back as far as it will physically stretch. The tension in the system becomes immense.
And the Tao is the snapback.
Exactly. The equation must be forced back to zero. The tension just cannot hold.
So what happens to the governor?
The essay dictates that the governor will face a severe proportionate correction. He will be arrested, executed, or face the confiscation of all his property.
But what if he uses that stolen money to bribe his way out of the legal system? I mean, what if he gets away with it in the human world? That happens all the time.
Human justice is incredibly fallible, sure. But the Tao's mathematics are not.
So he still pays.
Oh, he pays. If he escapes human law, the mechanism of the constant still triggers. He will be driven to terminal illness or suicide, or he'll just live day and night in absolute paranoia without a moment of peace.
The universe collects its due.
Right. The physical and psychological suffering he experiences provides the exact negative value required to cancel out the stolen 200 million yuan.
The rubber band snacks back to its resting state.
Precisely.
Man. So what does this actually mean for you, the listener, navigating your life right now?
It's a heavy thought.
Very heavy. Because if we accept this premise, we're basically walking around with fixed allotments of food, a built-in selfish operating system that practically guarantees we screw up. And a ruthless cosmic auditor willing to ruin our lives or turn us into livestock just to balance the books. That sounds incredibly bleak. It sounds like an inescapable trap.
It does. And you have to wonder, if the math is rigorous and the suffering is inevitable, how are we supposed to emotionally process our daily lives?
Right. How do we get out of bed?
Well, the essay actually addresses this. It urges us to look at natural rhythm.
Natural rhythms, okay.
It points out that flowers bloom and inevitably they wither. The tide rises and it must fall. The moon is only full once a month. The rest of the time, it is waning.
Okay, so waning is just a regular phenomenon. It's not a punishment.
Exactly. Society conditions us to only celebrate the blooming and the full moon, which is why we suffer so deeply when the waning occurs.
We think something is going wrong.
Right. But waning, loss, reduction, these aren't anomalies. They are just the natural changing of the cosmic seasons. Therefore, human setbacks and tribulations are just part of that identical natural rhythm.
Okay, understanding that intellectually is one thing. But the text demands a much more radical emotional shift.
It definitely does.
It advises that when we face these tribulations, we must maintain a calm mind. And this is the part I really struggle with, a joyful mind.
A joyful mind.
I'm sorry, but getting audited by the IRS or breaking your leg or losing your job, and I'm supposed to feel joy.
Well, what's fascinating here is that you have to completely reframe what the sensation of pain actually signifies.
Reframe pain.
Yes. The text argues that borrowing debts is easy and pleasurable, but repaying them is inherently difficult and painful.
Sure.
So the pain you feel during a tribulation is the literal sensation of your cosmic debt leaving your body.
Oh, wow.
You must repay it with joy because that pain is the physical feeling of becoming free.
It's like the relief of finally paying off a grueling 30-year mortgage.
Yes, exactly.
Making that massive final payment drains your bank account, which technically hurts your financial standing in the moment, but the psychological weight lifting off your shoulders is euphoric.
Right, you're finally free.
Every time you suffer in this framework, you are basically buying your freedom back. You're moving closer to the 0 point that allows you to ascend out of the flawed space.
And crucially, you don't have to just sit around waiting for the universe to forcefully break your leg to collect its due.
There's another way.
Yes. The text offers a profound, actionable strategy to mitigate these forced tribulations.
Oh, the ultimate loophole.
Exactly. You cannot escape the ledger, but you have the power to change the currency you use to pay it down.
Okay, I'm taking notes. What's the currency?
It states that the absolute best way to alleviate setbacks is to generate merits. And the only way to generate merits is to give and dedicate selflessly.
Oh, wow. This clicks perfectly with the selfishness design flaw we talked about earlier.
Yes, it connects everything.
If inherent selfishness is the gravity that creates the debt, then conscious, selfless giving is the exact anti-gravity needed to fix it. If you voluntarily give your time, your resources, your energy away without expecting any praise or return, you are initiating the pressure equalization yourself. You don't need the storm.
You are proactively balancing your own equation before the Tao has to step in and violently do it for you.
And what I really appreciate about this philosophy is that it doesn't just apply to massive life-altering events like corrupt governors or reincarnating as a pig.
No, it's very day-to-day.
Yeah, the essay ends on a remarkably mundane, practical note. It says, if someone makes you unhappy, and that is also a tribulation.
It brings the entire sweeping cosmic architecture right down to a Tuesday afternoon at the office.
It really does. It completely transforms how you view the coworker who takes credit for your ideas in a meeting, or the guy who cuts you off in traffic.
They're just ruining your day.
No, they are microtransactions. If someone makes you unhappy and you swallow your pride and handle it with a calm, joyful mind instead of retaliating, you just actively pay down a tiny fraction of your cosmic debt.
It's brilliant. You let them absorb the negative energy while you clear your ledger.
It's a remarkably empowering way to look at feeling slighted. You're no longer a helpless victim of someone else's bad behavior. You're an active participant in a cosmic settling of accounts, using their rudeness to buy your own freedom.
Yeah, you take the power back.
So, just to bring this all together and look at the whole picture, we started by examining Earth not as a random rock in space, but as a designated holding pen for flawed lives burdened by metaphysical debt.
Right.
We explored the ironclad physics that the universe's energy must equal 0, and how our inherent human selfishness aggressively resists that balance.
Which forces the natural order, the Tao, to engineer painful corrections, sometimes as brutal as an animal slaughter, to equalize the pressure.
And we uncover the underlying metric of this existence, that everything, right down to the exact caloric intake of your lifetime, operates as a strict, budgeted mathematical constant.
And ultimately, we arrived at the text's strategy for surviving this unforgiving system, preemptively balancing your own ledger through selfless giving.
And facing unavoidable daily annoyances with a joyful mind, recognizing them as the necessary price of your eventual liberation.
It is a staggeringly precise, almost intimidating lens for viewing reality.
It really is. But before we wrap up today, we want to leave you with one final thought to mull over, building on this idea of the mathematical constant.
Right. So we explored the concept that the total amount of food you eat is a predetermined budget you are slowly spending down.
Yeah.
But if the universe truly applies this rigorous constant to every facet of life, consider the implications for everything else you do.
Like what else?
What else in your daily experience is a strictly budgeted number? Is the total number of words you will ever speak a fixed constant?
Oh, wow.
Is the exact number of heartbeats you have left, or even the precise amount of genuine laughter you will experience, already locked into a cosmic ledger waiting to be spent?
That gives me chills.
And if so, how carefully will you spend your remaining allotment today?
That's a lot to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the source material. We hope it provided a fascinating and maybe slightly terrifying new perspective on the frustrations of everyday life. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and we'll catch you next time.